Miles, Clay Sourtyke, Black Shoe Diaries. This is the first year you've really gone from the hunter to the hunted. Has that changed your approach at all in how you wrestle?
No, I'm just gonna continue to just wrestle and just kind of keep it simple and just compete as hard as I can. So nothing really changes. Just treat it like any other match or tournament.
Hi, this is for Jason. You're a local guy from Katanning. I was wondering what you think about having the championships here in your backyard, because it is, almost become a hub now for wrestling, and there's a lot of great wrestlers that come out of this area.
Yeah, it's cool. A lot of friends and family can come watch, but again, kind of like Miles said, it's just another tournament, and we're here to compete. Doesn't really matter where we're at. We're going to compete at our best level, so that's what we're focused on.
Here in front.
Mike Finn from Wynn. This is a question, hopefully for all five, if you could answer it. College wrestling has had a lot of transfers, as you would know. Also, like at Penn State and Oklahoma State, guys that were two-time All-Americans weren't even really good enough to make the varsity for the postseason. Is what's happening with college wrestling, do you ever feel like it's limited, that guys are being forced to transfer, and is transferring good for the sport right now?
Bo, we'll start with you.
That's something that I've never really thought about, personally, because I love where I'm at. I feel like, at the end of the day, if a kid isn't happy with his choices, then if he wants to change schools, that's kind of on him, For me, I felt like choosing Penn State was the best decision I've ever made, and so I kind of never looked back from there.
Yanni, do you want to answer?
Kind of the same thing. I think that sometimes people make decisions that they regret, or, they didn't fully understand what was going on when they made that decision, and I get that. And, obviously I would never leave Cornell. I love it at Cornell, but I do understand, there are circumstances where people want to or need to transfer, even beyond wrestling. There's more to it. There's life decisions, and I get that. So, if someone feels like they need to leave their school and go somewhere else and they have a valid reason, then, that's fine with me.
Derek.
Yeah, as a competitor, you got to do whatever is best for you. So, I actually transferred from Nebraska to Oklahoma State, and, that was probably the best thing I could have done. So, yeah.
Right up here.
Yeah, this question's for Bo. Could you talk a little bit about the change of weight class and if there were any challenges for you, because your results have been very good, and also just the ability of you to pin people has been really displayed this year in your competitions. And talk a little bit about, in your mindset, how you're able to get in a position where you're able to get so many pins.
Well, the change of weight was something I think just kind of happened naturally. I don't really like cutting weight too much. I moved up from 74 to 84 and 84 to 97, so it's something that I've never really been afraid of. And I think that it was good just for my body. Not having to cut weight this year and stuff is nice, and it's made things more enjoyable. As far as getting pins and stuff like that, that's just something that I've always done. It's something that I just look for, and I feel like it's just a great testament to my coaches and the people that have raised me. Growing up, my dad always really reinforced that, and it was something that was a big deal to him. And personally, I just enjoy scoring a lot of points for my team, so that's the best thing that I can do for my team, and I try to do that every match.
Jason Paul Schofield from the Tribune Review. Everybody says you're going to win. You're going to be a three-time champion, and it's like assumed that you're going to win. How do you overcome that assumption and wrestle at your best?
I don't really think I have to overcome that assumption, but I'm not focused on what others are saying and what other people think. I'm focused on my first match, and I take it one at a time. I think when you start worrying about what other people think, it becomes a distraction. And I have to go. I don't think anybody deserves anything. I think you have to go earn it, and that's what I'm looking forward to do.
Over here.
I'll go with Bo. Last tournament of your college career, and more than just Bo, but does it feel any different? The emotions? I know you're probably locked in and you're ready to go like normal, but just is there a different feeling at all? Knowing it's kind of at the end?
Coming into this, I thought there would be a different feeling, but there really hasn't been a different feeling. I think that just has a lot to do with the fact that I'm going to continue to compete after this. You know, this isn't my last time ever wrestling, so I got a lot more matches to go, a lot more terms to go, and I'm just excited for the opportunity, the same as I am for every single match that I get.
Over here.
This question's for Yanni. So you're surrounded by seniors there up on the stage. You're the only sophomore there. And obviously the way in which you won your national title last year, overcoming an ACL injury during the tournament, did that, coming back this year and being healthier, did that kind of change your perspective on wrestling at all? Like, hey, although I might have more tournaments left than these guys, this tournament, any tournament could be my last. Did that kind of change anything for you?
Honestly, for me, getting hurt last year, it's the first time I ever thought about it being career-ending, by the way. But for me, I feel like it just showed me that anytime you're facing something, or it's not going the way you want it to, or the way you thought it would, that you can overcome it. And at least I could overcome it. And it was good confidence for me. It was like, if I can do that with a torn ACL, I can do anything healthy. And it was good for my confidence, almost, being able to do it when I was hurt.
Over here.
It's for Derek. Coming into the year, there was a lot of talk about the heavyweight division, obviously, with the departure of Kyle Snyder and Adam Kuhn. Who could step up and fill that role? You 31-1, I think it is, on the year. Wins over ACC, Big Ten, EIWA champs. But do you still feel like you're kind of slept on when people talk about who could win this weight?
No, I really don't worry about what other people are thinking, Just go out there and take it one match at a time. That's all I can do,
Yanni, we've had several questions from a couple fans on social media, and they want to know what your stance on blueberry waffles is and how it ranks among your top 10 breakfast foods.
I mean, pancakes are better than waffles. Just throwing that out there. And if I was going to have a pancake or a waffle, I would rather have like chocolate or peanut butter on it. And it's a stupid question.
My question's for Bo and Jason. You guys are kind of the leaders right now for the Hodge Trophy, and I just was wondering if there's a friendly competition at all between you two this season going for it.
What is that? The Hodge? What are you talking about? Oh, the Hodge Trophy. Yeah, I've heard of that, I think, but no, I don't think that there's any friendly competition. We're both just out there trying to do our best. Me, at least. I don't know about you.
That's all we talk about.
Over here.
This one's for Miles. The Ohio State program the last couple years has put out a number of tremendous competitors, Kyle Snyder, yourself, and guys kind of below you. How often do you get the time to maybe look back on maybe what your legacy is in the program and what you learned from those guys and kind of what you passed down to those guys? And does that ever kind of take you away from doing the very basic thing of, hey, I got to win 5 matches this weekend?
I usually don't really look back a whole lot. I try to just continue. I don't know, my life just goes on. And as far as the guys under me, like freshmen and stuff like that, I just help them whenever I feel like they want my help, or if they come up to me and ask for just questions about technique, I just do it just because I love them. They're my teammates and brothers. So it's not really hard to do it just because we're all kind of close. And and Kyle, they all did that to me. Logan, those guys did that to me. I asked them for questions, and the little guys do that with me. So I don't know. I don't really reminisce or think about it or try to put pressure on myself in a sense where I have to compete for myself. So I'm kind of selfless in a sense. So I think it helps just making our team better as well. A lot of guys on our team are pretty selfless, so it just helps, I think.
We'll go over here.
This is for Bo and for Jason. Penn State has dominated this event throughout this decade with 7 national championships. What is it about the culture in your program that allows that to happen?
I think we're just, I mean, I can't really speak for other programs, but I know we're grateful for the opportunity to be here, and we love to compete, and we peak at the right time, and we're just ready to go. And I think that's all it is to it, is we want to compete because we want to and no other reason, and we want to win because we want to, no other reason.
Taylor Miller with USA Wrestling. This is for Derek. Kind of following up on that last question, it's kind of assumed that Penn State will win the team title. Oklahoma State is one of those that can threaten. Is that something you guys talk about? Is that something you guys are working toward, or is that?
No, we're really not, worried about that. Anything can happen this weekend, so like I said earlier, take it one match at a time and, wrestle tough. That's all I got.
This is for Bo and for Miles. One thing that's unique about this sport, you can get 2 guys who have had a past with each other, both positives, both negatives. Do each of you, when you leave your career, will you ever think about those moments? Do you look at each other differently? How does the sport allow this to happen? Do you take it personal?
I think that, when you get to wrestle a great competitor, it's just exciting, That's the matches that I get most excited for are when I'm wrestling good competition and stuff. And so I'm just appreciative of that, being able to wrestle the best wrestlers in the world is something that excites me and something that's the reason why I do it, just because it's fun. And, it's one thing to, just go out and throw a guy down and pin him, but that's not really as satisfying as wrestling somebody that's that's a good competitor, and that's more fun to me. So I think that's something that I'll appreciate.
Yeah, I agree with him. I think I just appreciate wrestling really good guys, and it's always exciting just for the fans as well, for you guys, and for just people who just really have a lot of respect for the sport, and I respect him as well. So I don't look at it as like negative situation just because it's wrestling, and I like to keep it simple. It's not like life-changing stuff. So, but yeah, I just have a lot of respect for the sport and a lot of respect for my opponent. So, especially when I wrestle really good wrestlers, it's just fun and exciting.
We're going to go over here.
JP Pearson, Black Shoe Diaries. This question is for Derek and Jason. You both mentioned that you're just focused on the first match. When the brackets come out, we fans and media go crazy. We love it. We eat it up and spend a bunch of hours pouring through all the possible matchups. Do either of you allow yourself to look beyond that first match in the bracket to see who you might face in the round 2 or the quarterfinals?
No, I really don't look forward. Later in the bracket, you never know what's going to happen. So I just take it one match at a time.
Yep, what he said.
This is for any of you guys. Obviously, one of the more unique things about wrestling is you've got the individual part of it, but also the team part of it. So during the tournament, just curious if you're so locked in on your own stuff, or if you're paying any attention to the team standings, anything like that. Whether it's Penn State or Ohio State or Oklahoma State, just how that's looking.
Miles, we'll start with you.
Can you repeat the question?
Just, how much do you, during the tournament, if Ohio State's got a chance to win the national title as a team, are you tracked into that, or are you just kind of locked in onto, your next opponent, that sort of thing?
I usually just take it one match at a time. Just like Derek said, you can't really focus on the things you can't control. You can control how you prepare for your match and what you can do for yourself, and then hopefully that accumulates for the team. So it's hard to say.
Jason?
I think we just focus on going out there and scoring as many points as possible ourselves, and and that's the best thing that you can do for your team. Kind of like Miles said again, when you start to focus on other things that you can't control, you kind of lose energy and focus. So as long as you focus on your next match and go out and try to score points, they start to add up eventually. So.
Derek?
Yep, same thing he said.
Guys, first time I ever went to the Nationals, it was just amazing. I think there's a lot of wrestling fans that know what the Nationals mean. But what does it mean to you? I mean, this event is so special. 5 matches and you're a champion. Explain some of your feelings of, how you feel, that's especially on a Saturday night.
Well, I've been
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Jason.
No, I was just kidding. I was messing with you.
Well, I've been coming to the Nationals since I think maybe I was like 6th or 7th grade, so it's something that I've always enjoyed, whether I was competing or watching, and so just there's a lot of energy in the arena, and it's just exciting times for wrestling. If you see 20,000 people getting ready for, in one place for just one night, like that's pretty awesome just to see that, the fans and how much they enjoy it, and like for me, that's where I want to be, like at the end of that's my favorite place to be, is just with the pressure on, the lights on, and that's just something that has been really exciting for me to have done, and I'm just very grateful for those opportunities.
Yeah, kind of like it's time for a big night whenever you start to feel all the jitters and you start to feel nervous, and a lot of people think that's a bad thing, but for me, I feel spirited whenever it comes to national tournament. I really love this tournament. It's where we're supposed to peak, and I think we do as a team and as individuals, and we're just looking forward to competing.
Yanni, why do you love wrestling?
There's a lot to that, but I think that it's something it's been my whole life. I started wrestling when I was 6. I'm 19 now. I've been wrestling more than I've been not wrestling, and I think it's the pursuit of something greater. It's the pursuit of being better than I was the day before, and being better than, everything I do. I just want to be great. I want to be great at the things that I take pride in, and there's nothing I take more pride in than this. And therefore, I pretty much have dedicated, my life to it, and it's something that I honestly couldn't put into words, why I love it, but I do, and I couldn't not love it now.
Go over here.
Jason, growing up in this area, which has become such a hotbed for wrestling, what was the benefit of that as a kid, just not having to travel all over the place to find great competition?
Yes, well, I drove about an hour and a half back and forth to practice every day, because I kind of live an hour from here, but I would drive to Franklin Regional or to Latrobe to practice, and one benefit is just I think there are amazing coaches everywhere, but the biggest thing for me, I think, was finding really good partners and coaches to facilitate that. And I had amazing coaches in the Strip Manners, and Coach Waller and Isaac Greeley, but there were so many partners. I know like Cameron Shields, Maruka, Krivas, Pletcher. I could name a million people, but I think that's our generation kind of grew up with each other, and we're always competing against each other, and I think that's why that group of guys kind of became so good, is because we had each other.
Go right there.
Jason, I'm Steve with the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Going back to your year-long competition with Bo for the Hodge, the other thing people have been talking about all year was the Penn State pins record that you have right now. I believe you're up 3 on Bo. Do you think you need 1 or 2 more in this tournament to secure that, or do you think you have it in the bag?
I would need at least probably 5. Yeah.
Bo, do you think there's any chance you have to catch him?
Well, I have 5 matches, and he's only up 3. So if he gets 5 and I get 5, I'm not very good at math, but yeah.
We'll go right here.
For Yanni, and then we were talking about the brackets come out and everybody looks at them. Aside from 41, Do you look at this as a fan at all and look at the brackets and what might happen? And if so, do you have a favorite weight class? Obviously, not other than 41.
This was much harder for me last year because as a kid, I watched nationals every year. I grew up watching NCAAs, and it was just what I did. The brackets came out, you're like, oh, let's see who's wrestling. And then I remember last year, brackets came out, and I started doing it, and I'm like, I gotta stop. I'm in the tournament now. Like, you know what I mean? So second time through, like, I have a better idea of it. But obviously, you know, I like to see how, you know, my Cornell guys are going to do and, you know, where our guys sit in the bracket. But once it starts, you know, I'm not going to put any mind to it. Just kind of let it play out as it goes and see how that goes for me.
Yeah, this is a follow-up for Yanni. Obviously, you assess your wrestling. You're very specific to what it takes to win. How much better do you feel you've gotten in the last year? And talk about the challenge of continuing to improve because, you know, no one sits still in wrestling, right?
I mean, I'd like to think I've been getting better. We have tournaments like these to see if that's true or not. And for me, I guess it's a challenge, but it's not because it's something that I want to do. It's not like I have to force myself to want to get better. The difficult part is actually getting better and, you know, finding the little things that you're doing wrong and being very self-critical. And I think it's something I just enjoy. I don't know why, but I really enjoy just, you know, analyzing what I do and thinking about what I do and trying to get better results for myself. So I wouldn't say it's a challenge as much as it is, you know, something I look forward to doing, look forward to finding things I can work on.
We'll go over here. Last question for the guys.
Yep, hey, Bo, my hearing is still bad from last year's finals. Have you ever heard a louder crowd than you ignited at Cleveland last year?
Honestly, I didn't really hear much. I just went and kind of went and wanted to run over and hug my coaches. But yeah, that was an awesome moment and something that I'm just appreciative of. But as far as louder crowds, I don't even really know. That was kind of all a blur. It happened very quickly, but yeah, maybe Rec Hall a few times. It gets pretty loud in there, so that's about it.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.